Schizofenik's Characterpedia takes a special look at Baraka of Mortal Kombat. Initiating sequence.
The nomadic mutant combatant named Baraka made his debut in the second Mortal Kombat tournament as an Outworld warrior in service of Emperor Shao Kahn. This fighter belongs to a race called the Tarkatans, who populate the vast wastelands of Outworld.
Origins and history.
In the original timeline, Baraka's Tarkatan race are carnivorous subhuman hybrids that result from breeding denizens from Outworld with demons of the Netherrealm. His fighting skills and leadership qualities caught the attention of Shao Kahn, who recruited him into his army. Baraka quickly rose to the rank of enforcer and slew many of Shao Kahn's enemies across the realms. After Shang Tsung failed to take Earthrealm in the first tournament, Shao Kahn would order Baraka to lead the attack against Liu Kang's Shaolin temples. This was the catalyst that forced Earthrealm into engaging Outworld in Mortal Kombat. Due to this, Baraka would participate in the second tournament, fighting against Earthrealm's warriors, but secretly he would align himself with Mileena to overthrow Shao Kahn and rule Outworld. Unfortunately for Baraka, this plan never came to fruition, as Mileena was murdered by Kitana and Baraka was sent away to the lowlands of Outworld. Subsequently, Baraka was sent to quell the uprising renegade race in Outworld's lower regions, but returned in the third tournament to fight against his earthen counterparts. However, this would not end well for Baraka, who was brutally finished by Kung Lao before Shao Kahn was defeated by Liu Kang in the final. Despite his crushing defeat, Baraka would return in the fourth tournament, sporting a stapled chest. Furthermore, Baraka would now operate alone, as he lost the respect for his former master Shao Kahn, who fell from power. It was whilst wandering through Edenia that Baraka would be approached by the necromancer Quan Chi, who presented the Tarkatan with an opportunity, a chance to rule the realm at his side if he agreed to join the army of Shinnok. Despite initially accepting, Baraka would betray his new masters, who planned to exterminate all, including Baraka's race. This, however, proved unnecessary when Shinnok was defeated by Liu Kang. During the events of Mortal Kombat Deception, Baraka found a new master in Onaga, the Dragon King. Believing in the strength of his new leader, Baraka would free Mileena from her prison and recruit her to Onaga's ranks. However, Mileena would betray Baraka by masquerading as Princess Kitana and use her position to misdirect the Edenian forces into fighting against the Tarkatan army. Anticipating Mileena's treachery, Baraka would send another Tarkatan in his place to meet her in the Beetle Lair. This proved to be an astute decision, as the Tarkatan he sent was killed by Mileena. Sometime later, Baraka would join the forces of darkness in the Battle of Armageddon. He would fight Kung Lao again, only to achieve the same results as the previous encounter, where he was killed by the warrior's razor-rimmed hat. At this point, a new timeline would begin and change the origins of the Tarkatan race. In this reality, the species would have their own home in Tarkata and possibly be another race that existed in Outworld as opposed to hybrid mutants. Therefore, in this timeline, Baraka would make his first appearance in the initial tournament alongside Shang Tsung against Earthrealm. During this tournament, Baraka was defeated by Johnny Cage in the second round. Shang Tsung ordered Johnny Cage to kill Baraka for his failure, but Cage refused. Later, Baraka would be ordered by Shang Tsung to assassinate Cyrax, a potential defector, but was defeated in the pit by the Lin Kuei cyborg. After Shang Tsung's failure in the first tournament, Baraka would take orders from the Emperor and lead his Tarkatan hordes in the attack on the Wushu Academy. This prompted Raiden and his allies to venture into Outworld, where the god defeated Baraka. During this tournament, Baraka also lost to Jax, as well as Jade within the tower where he was holding Kitana captive. Following the Emperor's defeat in the second tournament, Baraka's Tarkatan armies were sent to invade Earthrealm in a brutal attack. This timeline would deviate from the original again, as Baraka would become Empress Mileena's loyal servant. Although others would rebel against her tyranny, Baraka refused to betray her, remaining loyal to his master. At this point, a battle between Mileena and Kotal Khan's allies would ensue, where Baraka was brutally slain by Devourer. The events of Mortal Kombat 11 would strongly revolve around time travel, therefore a time-displaced Baraka was brought together with his time-displaced allies and enemies by Kronika, who merged the two timelines together. During a fight in the Colosseum, Baraka was defeated by Kotal Khan, then discovered that his future self was dead. Baraka would retreat with the aid of Devora to be introduced to their new leader Kronika, who promised them their desired new eras. Later still, the time-displaced Kitana gave Baraka a second chance to redeem himself under the request of Queen Shiva. She offered Baraka the opportunity to join her in defeating Shao Kahn and unite Outworld. After accepting her offer, Baraka helped Kitana defeat Shao Kahn and his forces. After volunteering to fight in the final battle with his new allies against Kronika's army, Baraka became one of many victims affected by Kronika's temporal reversion. While serving Kitana, Baraka was deceived by Shang Tsung. As Baraka ordered his subordinates to capture the group, Shang Tsung killed a Tarkatan, enraging Baraka, who demanded that Shiva atone for her sins. Shiva stated that she had warned him in advance, but he had refused to listen. The two engaged in combat, but Baraka was defeated.
Physical appearance.
Baraka has a truly horrific appearance, with pale skin, ferocious fangs, and demonic eyes. Like all Tarkatans, Baraka possesses long retractable blades that extend from his forearms.
Powers and abilities.
As a Tarkatan, Baraka possesses greater speed, stamina, durability, and strength than a regular human, and is capable of severing an opponent's head with a single punch. In addition to this, Baraka was able to survive Kung Lao's body slice fatality, displaying impressive healing capabilities. Finally, Baraka has displayed a highly acute sense of smell and can identify his targets by their scent.
Weapons and equipment.
Some of Baraka's most formidable weapons are housed in his own body. The Tarkatan blades. As a Tarkatan, Baraka possesses two 4-foot-long blades within his forearms. In some versions of Mortal Kombat, Baraka can break off and regrow the Tarkatan blades at will. The Flying Spark. Baraka can fire a spark as a projectile by scraping his arm blades together. Body spikes. Baraka also possesses smaller spike or blade-like protrusions in his back, which he can shoot out of his body as a defensive maneuver. Razor Cane. Baraka wielded a blade-tipped cane resembling a scythe in Mortal Kombat Gold.
Fighting style.
This cannibalistic fighter has a brutal and voracious style of fighting, where he tries to fulfill his bloodlust. Aside from his retractable arm blades, Baraka uses cunning and his training in Silat and Hungar to combat his enemies. Some of Baraka's signature moves include Chop Chop Blades. This technique involves Baraka using his blades to slice up his opponents vertically numerous times. The Blade Lift. By extending both blades, Baraka stabs his opponent in the torso and lifts him or her up high. The limp victim finally slides down the deadly blades.
Weaknesses.
When it comes to weaknesses, this character is full of contradictions. Intelligence. Despite belonging to an irrational and bloodthirsty species, Baraka is more intelligent than the rest of his race. This Tarkatan has the ability to communicate and strategize, which allowed him to lead his people. With all this considered, intelligence is still a weakness for Baraka. Although he led his race, Baraka is more of a follower than a leader, often seeking out a master to serve. It has also been noted that some of his special attacks leave him wide open for counters. Even though Baraka does use strategy, he prefers going berserk on his opponents and sometimes forgoes utilizing tactics.
Allies.
In various timelines, Baraka's allies have included Melina, Shiva, and Shao Kahn.
Enemies.
Across the two timelines, Baraka's enemies have included Kung Lao, Kitana, Shao Kahn, and Raiden.
Significant moments.
Some of Baraka's most significant moments include becoming Shao Kahn's enforcer after single-handedly defeating a rebel faction, leading a Tarkatan army to the Wuxi Academy and kidnapping Sonya Blade, freeing Melina from her prison and recruiting her to Anaga's army, joining Kitana's forces and taking part in the final battle against Kronika's armies.
This file terminates here. End sequence.